What's going on, everyone? It's Adam here from the Cruiser Company, and today we're going to go over absolutely everything about our new 80 series full hoop bull bar. If you haven't realized yet, we have been releasing an insane amount of bull bars, and obviously the 80 being one of our original cars. I think it was the car we first built a rear bar for. We had to come out with something good. So we're stoked with this. The design has turned out amazing. We've been able to utilize pretty much the exact same design style that we've used across all of our bull bars. That's the 4-poster look, the 1 hoop bar, the fat tube style, and also just the really tucked in and tucked up look. Yeah, let's just take a second to just look at it and see the approach angle that you get, the style that it adds to this car. Let us know what you think in the comments below. I love it, it looks sick. But yeah, anyway, let's get into the finer details of this thing. Now, firstly, obviously, just like everything else, this is a 100% Australian-made product built in Victoria alongside our rear bars. If you haven't seen our rear bars, you should check them out. We make a really awesome one for the 80 series. There is normally a sticker here, but to be honest, we forgot to put it on. So there normally is an Australian-made sticker right there. That's something that we're super proud of, and it means that you can be proud of running a bar that's Australian-made and not some imported thing that probably isn't as high quality, well, definitely not as high quality. Let's talk about the strength of this bar, because being an 80 series, a lot of you don't treat them very well. So we need to make a bar that is going to last a lifetime. Just like our rear bars, they follow the full 5mm steel construction with 10mm mounting plates underneath. So there is no weak points in this. These wings are all 5mm. Basically what that allows us to do is use less material so we can actually get closer to the car, but it also just leaves no weak points. Everywhere it has thick steel, there is no spot of thinner steel than 5mm. So everything is just super, super strong. And then this one piece tube, this piece of fat bar, so this is actually 60.3mm tube. Something you gotta look out for when it comes to the tubes is the thickness of the wall. So this is actually a 3.9mm thick wall, which is extremely thick for a tube. And then also what adds to the strength is the one piece design, because basically we're linking the whole bar together. If you hit this corner here, you have to bend everything to bend this corner, and that's going to be extremely difficult to do. Then with our uprights here, this piece of steel that is behind the faceplate, basically a bit of steel that goes all the way down to your mounting points on the chassis. So this is actually one bit of 5mm that is bolted straight to the chassis. So up there is also bolted down there because it's one piece. I mean, the whole bar is a one-piece design in the end. There is no bolt-on cradles or anything like that going on here. So all in all, it's a very strong bar. It follows in suit of every other bar that we've ever made, to be honest. Every bar we make is incredibly strong, but this is just another testament to that. So from this angle, you can clearly see the approach angle that you get, which is one of the best approach angles you're gonna get with a full winch bar with no cutting of chassis or anything like that. As you can see here with our wing, we don't need to cut any flares. They slot in just nicely underneath the flare itself. And also, some of you may have noticed this is running 37s, and we have to do a little bit of forward driving to get in here. It did not scrub on 37s at all. So there's plenty of clearance in here to fit your bigger tires. And then something I want to touch on with this wing section, because obviously this is a spot that you hit all the time. Obviously this is still 5mm steel, but we actually have a gusset all the way along in the back here, and basically that just prevents you being able to push the wing in like that. Because now instead of just being a piece like that, you've got another bit here like that, and you're trying to bend it all, and that's very difficult to do. So then the mounting situation, I mean, 80 series are pretty easy to mount bull bars too, but you still have to do it properly. So we've got 2 bolts on the side here that go through some 5mm steel and clamp on the sides, and then we actually have 3 underneath that go through the 10mm plate, and that is what is mainly holding your bar on, and obviously the 10mm plate has your eyelets in them too, one each side. So you can't make that any stronger because it's one piece of 10mm. There's no welding going on for that eyelet. So to fit this bar is very simple. It's only 5 bolts each side, no trimming of flares or anything like that. It just slots straight on. All right, so getting into the sort of bolt-ons that you put on a bull bar itself. So obviously we're running 2 GME aerials here, Australian company, so that is always good. We have 4 aerial mounts, so there's 2 tabs each side. Each tab has 2 aerial spots. They're a simple laser cut and folded tab that wraps around the bar itself and is fully welded on. Basically the little extra tab is just for support, but again, these tabs are also 5mm steel, so it's just fundamentally stronger than something like 3mm. It's going to prevent the vibrations and prevent it flexing, so you're not going to have any issues with them. Then below it, we've got the Road Vision Stealths. These are a full 9-inch spotty, and as you can see, there is tons of room in there. Something we did prioritize with all of our bull bars is airflow. We don't want to be blocking the radiator more than what we need to. Obviously, sometimes you have to put some stuff in the way. If you're gonna run spotties, you're gonna be blocking the radiator no matter what. But if you didn't have them there, the radiator is pretty much fully exposed as much as possible with all the grill there and everything like that. So tons of room for spotties. There's actually a massive cutout in here so you can get to your winch. Unfortunately, there is no winch in this car because this customer didn't have a winch, but you can easily reach in there and there's no problem to get to your free spool and things like that. Speaking of winches, this is a low mount compatible bar. It'll fit pretty much any low mount in there. There's tons of room. They bolt straight down because it's the strongest way to do things, and you're also not messing around with the face of the bar. And yeah, so when he gets a winch in there, I think it'll just sort of finish the whole setup and it'll look really neat. So you may have noticed the winch location is exactly where the chassis rails are, because that's where you pull in from the winch. If you put your winch somewhere up here, you pull in like that, and over a long period of time, it just can lead to some issues. So the most reliable way is to have it pulling straight out from the chassis rails, because that's where you mount it to. That's pretty much it for all the accessories. When it comes to lights, you may have noticed over there, we've got an indicator and a accessory light. The indicator is a must-have for any full hoop bull bar, because you are somewhat, in the eyes of the law, blocking this indicator in some way. So that is an ADR approved indicator on the sides, and then we've got this road vision accessory light, which is actually a really awesome light and we really like it. So for powder coat and color options, what you're looking at here is our standard color. This is a satin black powder coat, and as I said, we do everything in-house, so the powder coating is done in-house. Something we put a lot of work into, and we're very proud of where it's gotten to. So this is satin black. Honestly, my favorite color is satin black. You can do things like texture black and stuff like that. I prefer satin black just because it's glossy and it's still durable. I don't know, it looks fresh, but that's my opinion. But you can do other stuff. You can do color coding. I would heavily favor powder coating over painting, especially for bull bars, just because paint is very susceptible to things like stone chips and things like that. It's nowhere near as durable as powder coat, especially on a bull bar. You know, you're going to be copping stone chips all the time, and the bull bar is what you hit a lot of things with when you are four-wheel driving. So I would heavily recommend you go powder coat, but run your own race, you can do whatever you want. But yeah, this satin black color is basically the standard across the industry, really. And I think it looks sick. I love it. So that pretty much do. Leave any questions you have in the comments down below. You can see all the details of this on our website. That's also linked below. The pricing is on par with everything else in the industry, and honestly, for a fully Australian built product with this high quality, I mean, you can't really go wrong. So yeah, that'll pretty much do. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.